Have you ever noticed that the more you open up to family, the more tangled everything becomes? You start off wanting to be honest, to stay close, but somehow the more you share, the less peace you have. It's something many of us learn the hard way after 65, not because our families don't love us. It's because love is complicated. Expectations, opinions, emotions, they all come bundled in. I'm 83 years old. My name is Margaret, and I used to believe complete honesty kept my family close. I thought if I told them everything, it would show I trusted them. But over time, I realized something. Not every truth needs to be spoken, not because it's shameful, but because peace in this stage of life is worth protecting. So I want to talk with you. Not lecture, just talk. About 5 things I've learned are better kept to yourself after 65, not to be secretive, but to be wise. If you've ever felt drained after sharing too much, or found yourself wishing you'd stayed quiet, this message is for you. The first secret is a big one: your exact financial situation. I know what you're thinking. We've been told to be transparent, avoid surprises. We think if we let them know how much we've saved, what we plan to do with it, it will protect everyone from confusion. That's what I thought too. But here's the truth. The moment you open that financial curtain, the dynamics shift. Sometimes subtly, sometimes quickly. Let me tell you about someone I know. She's 79, spent her life budgeting carefully. A few years ago, she sat down with her 2 children and shared everything: bank accounts, pension, house, deed, plans for distributing everything. She wrote it all out. She expected relief, gratitude. What she got were questions. Mom, why are you still in such a big place? Shouldn't you sell before something happens? What's your plan if you need long-term care? One even suggested moving in to help manage finances, just in case. It was all said with concern, with love, but over time she felt boxed in, like every decision needed approval. And it didn't stop there. Once the numbers were out, every spending decision became open to judgment. A vacation? Should you really be traveling at your age? A new chair seems expensive, Mom. Even buying shoes came with commentary. What hurt most, she told me, wasn't that they didn't care, it was that they cared. So loudly, so constantly. She felt she was no longer in charge of her own life. Once you open the door to your finances, it's hard to close. Distant relatives who never called suddenly take interest in your money, not you. Privacy is not secrecy, it's protection. You don't owe anyone bank statements or explanations. You are the person most qualified to decide what to do with your hard-earned life. Protect your peace. Sharing health news is natural, but consider the weight it carries. What you see as small talk, your children hear as red flags. They may overreact emotionally, and from that moment on, they start seeing you differently. Share only what's necessary when the time is right. End of debrief. Let me tell you about someone. She's 76, independent, loves gardening, and walks every morning. One day, after some yard work, she mentioned to her daughter that her shoulders were sore. Just that, no complaints, just soreness, but her daughter panicked. She booked physical therapy, started calling twice daily, and suggested hiring help. She felt handled, like she'd become fragile. Her daughter started making comments. "Are you sure you should be lifting that? Maybe you shouldn't drive at night." This woman began feeling like a child in her own life, all because of sore shoulders. This is the danger of oversharing health details. They're not doing anything wrong, but you may unintentionally shift how your family sees you, from capable to someone they need to protect. That shift, once started, is hard to reverse. Don't misunderstand. If something serious is going on, share it. Your family should know you deserve help. But every twinge, every stiff joint, every sleepless night, you don't need to broadcast it. Sharing everything can create a narrative that doesn't reflect you. Loved ones might see you declining faster than you are. That leads to them making decisions for you, limiting freedom, hovering too much. You've lived in your body long enough to know what's serious and what isn't. You know when something's aging and when it's concern. Trust that knowledge. You don't need to validate every cough with someone else's opinion. Constantly talking about small issues makes life feel like it's shrinking. everything becomes about what's wrong. That's not the story you want to tell. You're more than aches and pains. You're a full person with wisdom and joy. You have quiet victories every day. Don't let little discomforts dominate your narrative. Stay independent. Stay focused. Dismissed. I'm not saying suffer in silence or bottle things up. Talk to your doctor. Keep track of symptoms. Take care of yourself intentionally. But with family, be thoughtful. Choose when and how you share. Ask yourself, am I sharing to feel closer or unintentionally giving away independence? Peace in later years doesn't come from everyone worrying about you. It comes from knowing yourself well enough to decide what matters and when to speak. That's not denial, that's dignity. Now let's talk about something many learn the hard way, getting involved in family conflicts. At this age, we've seen arguments. Children growing apart, siblings fighting over money, in-laws, misunderstandings. As the older generation, we feel this tug to step in, offer advice, smooth things over. But here's a lesson from experience. The more you say, the more risk you take, especially in family matters. Silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. A friend of mine told me about a moment she wishes she could take back. She's 80, sharp as ever, the kind whose opinion people seek. One afternoon, visiting her daughter, she mentioned gently that maybe her grandson, 5 at the time, could start tidying his toys. That was it. No lecture, no raised voice, soft suggestion. Her daughter didn't take it well, grew quiet. Cold calls came less often, invitations stopped. My friend, who'd only meant to help, wondered how one sentence caused such distance. That rift never fully healed. That's the danger of sharing opinions in family conflict, or even innocent situations. No matter how gently you say something, people hear through their own emotional filter. Your words feel like support to you. To them, it's judgment, criticism, taking sides. You express concern about a daughter-in-law's parenting. Your son pulls away. Just like that, you become the pot stirrer. Even words spoken with love, people remember, sometimes more than the original issue. That's the debrief. Dismissed. You try calming things, but end up being the one they resent when the dust settles. Why? Once you speak up, they associate you with conflict, not resolution. Over time, that isolates you, so what should you do? Here's the truth I live by. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to share your opinion just because you have one. You can love family deeply without inserting yourself into every disagreement. You can be present without being pulled in. Sometimes the most powerful words are, I trust you to work it out, or simply, I don't want to take sides, but I'm here if you need me. Then let go, let them grow, stumble, learn the way you did. Involvement might feel helpful in the moment, but in the long run, it rarely brings peace. What brings peace is protecting your emotional well-being, being the calm eye of the storm. The quiet, steady presence that doesn't react to every wave. You've earned the right to step back, watch, hope, pray maybe, but not be dragged into every fire. Peace is too precious. You've earned wisdom, lived through enough family holidays, heated discussions, misunderstood conversations, to know sometimes the kindest thing you can do is stay silent. Let them figure it out. Love them from gentle distance. Now let's talk about something quieter than drama, but often heavier, our regrets. Not every regret needs speaking aloud, especially not in front of people you love. Sharing too freely can hurt them unintentionally. Instead of saying, I wish I'd done things differently, consider saying, I've learned a lot from the life I've lived. That carries wisdom without sorrow. Finally, your plans for your assets. Legal clarity is important, will, power of attorney. But sharing all details can stir jealousy, hurt, and subtle competition. Protect freedom and dignity. Peace comes from knowing what to protect and living on your terms. Your legacy is more than a dollar amount. It's the life you lead, the love you've shown, the lessons you've passed down. Protecting your plans isn't selfish, it's smart and respectful. You've spent your life giving. Now it's time to guard something else, your peace. Not by walls, but by choosing what to hold back, not because of fear or distrust, but because space and dignity matter. You've survived enough conversations, enough well-meaning advice gone wrong, enough moments of oversharing. Now you get to choose. That's not dishonesty, it's wisdom. Peace at 83 doesn't come from everyone knowing everything. It comes from knowing yourself enough to protect what matters most. Your dignity, your freedom, your life lived on your terms.